2 to 3 minutes, because I just know from yesterday that we started to see an uptick right around our start time. So I'll let people filter in here. And welcome. Yes. Happy Friday the 13th, everyone. Thanks, Liz. We couldn't avoid it. Good morning, Christine. One thing actually I am curious about is as people start to come in here, how many of you, is this your first day at our virtual gathering, and how many of you were with us yesterday? And you can just leave that in the chat area. I'd like to get a sense of kind of who's coming back and who's here for the first time. I don't know why I get a kick out of excitement in a chat, but all right, awesome. Lots of people coming back. Richard didn't turn me off yesterday. Great. That's what we like to see. Might need to adjust I need to stand up straight. Jonathan Kaplan hasn't left his computer in 8 months. I think that's a sentiment we can all share. All right, wonderful. So I know that, yeah, yes, this is my Corona haircut, or lack of a haircut. All right, so we'll kind of officially start here, and I know that people are going to continue to come in, and please, just continue to indicate if you're here for the first time or if you're coming here from yesterday, and welcome back, and thanks again for taking 2 afternoons to be with us in this different kind of way. But it's always, I know that, it's always just an incredible amount of energy that comes through at the gathering. And I can honestly say that even in this virtual arena, the energy was there yesterday, and I know it's going to be here today. So just a quick little kind of run through and housekeeping. So run through of our agenda today. We're just going to open with some time for some reflections, and if people have questions that came up yesterday that maybe didn't get answered, and just to kind of put it out there to myself, about the strategic plan, or just to put it out to the group about any conversations, discussions, issues that came up from yesterday, we'll do that. So and then we are joined by Secretary Anson Tebbetts, Secretary of Agriculture, Anson Tebbetts, and he's going to give us a couple of words before we then go off to our breakout sessions. So the breakouts will start at 9:45. They'll run to noon, and then we'll come back just briefly for about, yesterday it was 10 minutes, but we'll come back, have some report outs and just final closing reflections at noon, going to about 12:20. So that's our plan for today. And just, I wanted to start with my own just reflections from yesterday, just to kind of kick things off. I was just really blown away by the panel. We had a really amazing panel yesterday, and some excellent kind of themes and messages came across that I was struck by. Starting with Erica, and I think Andrew Peterson also hit upon this as well. But the value of relationships and how that makes, our food system in Vermont quite unique, and that's kind of creating a lot of the intangibles that we see in Vermont agriculture and food, and just, the value and importance of continuing to kind of redouble our efforts in the next 10 years was a really strong message that came through in Erica's presentation, and I thought Andrew as well. And then Amber and Naomi, I think, gave us some really important messages around, both, I think, healing, racial equity, and I think really acknowledging the long road ahead to authentic racial equity, and what they were pointing out as liberation for all people, and that we can't just see it as diversity is just adding people in. It's much more than that, and certainly we have more work to do on that to really make change, and we have to look at those underlying systems that have created inequities in our food system and our society, and that can be difficult, but I also think it's they conveyed, I think, a very strong message of hope and optimism with that as well. And then Kat, I think, gave us the look kind of at our natural systems, and likewise that maybe we've neglected to listen to those systems too much, and business as usual is not a sustainable way into the future. So I think really interesting in how the panel touched upon kind of business, equity, natural systems, and relationships. I think they all really keyed in on the importance of relationships, and that's certainly what this network is about. That's certainly what I think many organizations that are working in the food system are all about. So just really good to reinforce that, and I was really inspired by that. So those are my reflections, and I'm really interested, though, to hear your reflections. And I know there's some stuff being posted in the chat, but I would like to actually hear from you. And so how we're going to do this is you should, as a participant, have a hand raising function, and I should be able to see that when you're raising your hand. So if you want to share a reflection or have a question, use that hand raise function, and I will hopefully be able to unmute you, and we can hear from you. So I'll just pause and see if people have other thoughts to share. I'm also realizing there's a long list of people to check on hand raising.
People who have raised their hand will bump to the top of the list.
Okay. Excellent. All right. There we go. Liz Ruffa, I'm going to allow you to talk, and it sounds like you might need to then unmute yourself. There we go. All right, go ahead, Liz.
Hi there. I just wanted to say hello to everyone and to let you know that I was sorry to miss yesterday afternoon, but we had a board meeting up at Merck Forest. But I can't wait to dig in and see what everyone's up to and what everyone's thinking and how we can help move things down the road down in Southern Vermont. So hi, everyone. I miss you.
All right. Southern Vermont is in the house. Thanks, Liz. Sorry, Liz, I just selected you again. Well, people need some more coffee. All right, Annie Harlow, excellent. All right, here we go. Annie,
Good. I think we're good. Good.
yeah,
So many of you know that I do work with Farm to Plate in the retail grocer sector, intersecting with distribution. And for those who don't, I want you to know that I send out an e-newsletter, and I think Lydia will probably put a link to it in the chat or something, but I want you to know that I'm always receptive to food system information that ties to the supply chain and ties to grocers, distributors, producers. And so I do receive information from many of the people in the network, but I just want to kind of cast a broader net for maybe new folks or not, who have not contributed in the past. But just know it's a forum for information sharing. Again, the audience is not the direct to consumer, but grocers, distributors, food manufacturers, and farmers with retail. And there is a sign up in every issue, and Lydia just posted. So I just want to give a shout out. It's just another form of information sharing that comes through the network directly from Farm to Plate via me. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, Jake.
awesome. Yeah, thanks, Annie. Yeah, we were in a wholesale metro market session yesterday, and I can just say the level of conversation that was happening there was really incredible. And we've made so much progress, and a lot of the work that Annie does and a lot of the information that she shares, I think, has sort of fed into advancing our knowledge and understanding of the wholesale system. So thanks, Annie. All right, we'll try to do two more. Let's see if we can get two more, and then we'll turn over to Secretary Tebbetts. All right, Gay.
I just wanted to say, I thought that the opening panel yesterday was so great. It just fed me all evening. I'm still thinking about it this morning. Instead of checking in on anything having to do with our country's election or anything, I watched one of the videos that Kat Buxton suggested by this scientist from Australia, and it was just mind-blowing. It's not work I'm at all familiar with, but just to dig into the soil and what's going on there, and it's just magical. And it was really, really a great, just to have different folks talking about, sharing their stories. This I loved all of the conversation. So thank you so much again for that initial panel. It really was on my mind. All of those talks were on my mind all evening. Thanks.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, it really was. It was powerful. And really amazing how soil was emphasized in many different capacities. It's really good to hear. Thanks, Gay. All right, last one. Who wants to take a crack at it? All right, Kristen. You are good.
Hi, everyone. Kristen Acklick here from St. Michael's College. I worked with Farm to Plate for a number of years through grad school and VYCC, and then as the co-chair of Education and Workforce Development. And school's been really busy the last 2 years, so I've been a little bit out of touch. But I just wanted to share that I think we're all familiar nationwide how challenging higher ed is right now, and it was pre-COVID, and COVID has really shown a spotlight on enrollments and the type of learning students are looking for, across all forms of higher ed. And we're having that conversation at St. Michael's as we go through our strategic planning process. And I just, wanted to reiterate the function of our higher ed institutions in food system change and dissemination, in the ability for them to bring in some of these cross-cutting issues and social issues to teach and to learn about them, and then, extend them to the next generation of students and eventually, employees in the food system. And I'll add that in the conversations that I've had at a strategic planning level at the institution, I'm constantly asked, well, how is food systems and agriculture doing this? Because they just know I've been involved in this world for a while. And the Farm to Plate Network continues to be a model for how to network, how to work on systemic issues. And yesterday's opening panel, I think, really accentuated the opportunities there for all forms of higher ed. So just making some connections across the network and to what I do at St. Mike's. And I know that many of you do elsewhere at other institutions around the state.
Thanks, Kristen. Appreciate that. I'll read also one last comment from Billy Connolly. He said, I greatly appreciated the balance yesterday of data-driven work, personal stories, aspirations, challenges, collaborative work, etc. Balance of the right brain and the left, and an inspirational call to action. Lots of work to do in a community who will get it done. I think that really summarizes it quite well, Billy. So thanks for that message. And so with that, thank you all. And I'm sure there's more to share, and there's more time to share. I'm going to turn it over to Secretary Tebbetts. We've asked him to share his reflections, but also this has been quite a year for agriculture in Vermont, and the Agency of Agriculture has just been tireless in setting up new programs, new funding pools for producers to deal with the pandemic. And so we've asked Anson just to kind of give his perspective and also kind of what we can look forward to in the next year and the next 10 years for agriculture in Vermont. So Anson, I think I can just turn it over to you. And thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Jake. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, excellent.
Okay. I'm having a little trouble with my video, so if it's appropriate, I'm just going to let me see if it'll work now. However, I don't know. I'm just going to go audio if that's okay with you folks.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, good morning all, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all in this new format that we're all getting adjusted to. But again, we do wish we were all together and having some coffee and breakfast right now, but we're all adapting and doing a great job with it all. And I want to thank Jake and Ellen and the entire team at Farm to Plate. As you know, this is a critical time in our history. It was 8 months ago today that we entered the state of emergency in Vermont. And we are so thankful for all those folks that have kept us safe and also have kept us fed. Special thank you to our farmers and producers who have really never stopped working through this pandemic. We're grateful to the workers as well, getting the food to our tables. We can't thank them enough. I do think agriculture was ready for this moment in our history. Farmers and producers, they know how to work, and they, of course, know how to adapt. We saw tremendous disruption in many markets. For example, our world-class cheesemakers lost their critical markets in the cities, but they quickly stood up some new products and new ways to get their products to consumers. We saw a tremendous increase in the need for local meat. We saw shoppers turn to CSAs or farmers markets as a way to get their food. We saw the milk market plummet overnight. Some were forced to sell their cows, but some decided to bottle their own milk and sell directly to consumers. So again, farmers adapting under incredible pressure. We know this pandemic has, of course, has created some hardships, and we are fortunate to have some CARES dollars from the federal government come to Vermont. The agency has already sent out about $15 million back to the dairy industry and another $4 million to producers, whether they be sugar makers, slaughterhouses, vegetable producers, farmer markets, and all those that make their living off the land. More is headed out the door, but there is a critical deadline that is coming up this Sunday. That is the deadline to apply for these grants to the Agency of Agriculture. If you get a chance, please take a look at these grants. Our staff will be working this weekend for any last minute questions or help on these applications. And you can go to our website and it's posted there where you can get the application. Of course, this is only the start of our work. With the help of Farm to Plate, we will continue to work on many issues. We know that there are bottlenecks and needs. That tremendous report that was released last winter by Farm to Plate and the Agency of Agriculture addressed many of these issues. And you all are working on part 2 now, and we're looking forward to that release come this winter. Despite all these challenges and heartaches, we do have much to be thankful for. Vermonters did stand tall and sacrifice to limit the spread of the pandemic. And Vermont's straightforward, scientific-based approach has limited those large outbreaks. And when one did occur in Vermont, people rallied and limited more illness. Of course, we have to emphasize we are not out of this, and Vermonters are doing their best. You got to wash your hands, you got to wear your mask, you got to keep your distance, and of course, stay home if you're sick. As agriculture and Vermont weathers this pandemic, Vermonters are doing their best to support them with their pocketbook. During the holidays, shoppers can help their neighbors by buying local. You can find a large selection of course, our local meats, cheeses, maple, and value-added products in your grocery store. And you also can thank a farmer by shopping at a farm stand or signing up for local products at a CSA or shop at one of our winter farmers markets. The agency is working with the Department of Tourism on a buy local campaign for this holiday season. Look for the details that will come from us soon. And we hope that will help alleviate some of the pressures that are on our farmers and producers. We also should acknowledge that the pandemic has created some new neighbors for us. Many have decided to leave the cities for the hills of Vermont, and we need to welcome them to our little corner of the world. And we are thankful that agriculture will be a part of their daily lives. Vermont is a state where you can really find where your food comes from. That milk that went into making that cheese could have been produced right next door. Or if you cook with maple, it's likely you can visit that sugar house and see how the sweetness is made. Again, we are thankful for the opportunity to be so close to our farmers and our producers. As I listened yesterday to the presenters, I was struck by the creativity and hard work and progress that's already been made. When we hear last year we had 1,000 acres of growing grains, and now we have 2,000, that is incredible progress. Your work at Farm to Plate has given farmers choices, options, and most importantly, hope. Thank you for focusing on diversity and inclusion. It's a priority at the agency of ours as well. And we thank you for your leadership today and every day. We know there's more than 140 on this call today, and you're all doing your part to make Vermont a better place to earn a living, raise our families, and of course, feed us. We are so blessed to live in Vermont, where our citizens care about our animals, our land, our producers, and our farmers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anson. If we were in the same room together, I'm sure there would be a round of applause happening right now. Really appreciate those words, and yeah, and we thank you and all the staff at the agency for everything that they've done and will be doing. It's been an incredible response by you and your staff. So thanks so much. And yeah, I couldn't think of a better way to kind of close out our morning. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got some thanks coming in from the chat. So just now we're kind of entering into a transition. We've got some trivia that's going to be coming up onto the screen as we did yesterday to kind of help transition us into our breakout sessions, and just wanting to give people time and space in this format to not feel rushed and get to the things that they need to get to. So the breakout sessions, so we'll have roughly like a 15-minute break period for people to do what they need to do, take care of themselves, and get to the breakout sessions. Our communications director, Kelly, had posted the online agenda and conference webpage. So you can go there and find the Zoom links for the session that you signed up for. Also the PDF agenda that was sent to you by Lydia has those links as well. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly's putting the link back up again. So basically at around 9:40, we'll close this out. And then at that point in time, please make sure to get to your Zoom session, your breakout session before 9:45. And with that, we're good for the morning, and I hope you all have wonderful breakout sessions, and then we'll be back as a full group, not in this webinar format. We'll be able to see each other at 12 o'clock. And that link as well is in the agenda and on the conference webpage. So please be sure to click on that when your session ends. So thank you. And at some point, some trivia is gonna appear on the screen. So thanks all.